We've got a really hot topic for you today with all these tech companies that are out there that are exploding in value. We're going to talk about how tech executives should handle their ISOs, their incentive stock options before retirement, and avoid some tax mistakes. If you're a tech executive with incentive stock options and you're approaching retirement, or even if you're just moving from one job to the other or trying to create some liquidity, there's a very specific mistake that we see over and over and over again, and we'd like you to avoid it. You exercise all your options, you don't sell the shares, and then months later you get hit with a massive unexpected tax bill. Not because you made money, not because of anything that you did wrong, other than there is something out there called an AMT, or the alternative minimum tax. This is one of the most confusing and expensive areas of tax planning for tech executives or for anyone who's received a large amount of ISOs from these very valuable tech companies. And if you're within a few years of retirement, timing matters more than most people realize. Before we get started, I'm Joe Cortucci, co-founder and managing partner at E3 Wealth. I work with high-income professionals and executives to try to help them think strategically about their taxes, equity compensation, and long-term wealth planning. And today, we want to talk about this very specific scenario around incentive stock options. We also want to try to help you avoid unnecessarily triggering taxes before retirement. So ISOs are unique because they can receive favorable tax treatment, but only if they're handled correctly. So when you exercise an ISO, you're not taxed under the regular tax system right away. But under AMT, or alternative minimum tax, something different happens. The IRS looks at the spread or the difference between your exercise price, what did you pay for it, and the current market value of the stock. And that difference is treated as income for the purposes of the alternative minimum tax, even if you don't sell the shares. So let's walk through a clean example just so it's real clear. If you have an ISO with a strike price of $10 per share, and the stock is currently trading at $50 a share, and you decide to exercise 10,000 shares, that creates a $40 spread per share or $400,000 of alternative minimum taxed income. Even though you didn't sell anything, the tax system may treat that as income, which can result in a six-figure tax bill, depending on your situation. Now, this becomes especially important if you're approaching retirement because your income profile is probably about to change. In your working years, you may already be in a high tax bracket, which makes the large ISO exercise less flexible. But once you retire, your income may drop significantly, which can create a window of opportunity to exercise those ISOs more effectively. The mistake that executives make is exercising large blocks of option too early in high income years instead of planning those exercises around lower income years. The more strategic approach often looks like this. Instead of exercising everything at once, you stage the exercises over multiple years, carefully managing how much AMT income is created each year. What this allows you to do is stay between certain tax thresholds, reduce the AMT impact, and maintain flexibility if the stock price changes. In some cases, executives may even wait until early years of retirement when their income drops, creating a much more favorable environment for exercising those options. There is another type of risk that comes with these ISOs. When you exercise those ISOs and hold those shares, you are increasing your exposure to a single company stock. We call that concentration risk. So now you're dealing with two risks at the same time, a potential tax liability associated with the AMT and concentrating your wealth in a single investment position. And if that stock price declines after you exercise, you could end up paying tax on value that no longer exists. I've seen it before. This is one of the most painful outcomes that we see, and we don't want it to happen to you. So ISOs can be incredibly valuable when used correctly. Holding shares long enough to qualify for long-term capital gains treatment can create a very meaningful tax savings relative to ordinary income. But that benefit has to be weighed against AMT exposure, concentration risk, your broader financial plan. Everything you're doing should be lining up with your broader financial planning goals. Very important. This is not a one-size-fits-all decision. Everybody's situation is unique. It's a balancing act between tax efficiency and risk management. The biggest takeaway that I want you to take away is pretty simple. With ISOs, timing is everything. Exercising too early, too aggressively, or without a plan can and sometimes will create unnecessary tax exposure. When coordinated properly, especially around retirement and throwing in some mitigation strategies alongside of it, ISOs usually are a very powerful tool for long-term wealth creation, particularly for tech executives or highly compensated workers from tech companies. So if you are one of those people, if you're a tech exec or you work at one of these highly appreciated companies and you have significant stock options and you're within a few years of retirement, this is one of the most important planning areas to get right, because the difference between a well-timed strategy and a reactive decision is going to be pretty substantial in terms of how much you get to keep. If you'd like help evaluating how your options are taxed and retirement timeline fit together, we invite you to schedule a conversation with our team, because equity compensation is not just about what you earn, it's about how and when you turn that into wealth. Thank you for joining us today. Take a look down below, schedule an appointment. We'd love to talk to you.